Because there are so many different types and styles of coffee, so many different accompaniments, we need to take a lot of care and attention when guests are selecting that style or type of coffee. There is something called tailoring. Tailoring as in tailoring a suit to make a suit that fits you perfectly. Tailoring in service and in coffee service is finding out what style and type of coffee suits that guest perfectly. And once you've found out what that guest's ultimate request would be, delivering on that request consistently. Let's look at that. First of all, finding out what the ultimate style and type of coffee that a guest would like requires us to ask a few questions. And if you have the necessary product knowledge, you don't have to ask as many questions as if you don't have the necessary product knowledge. For example, if a guest asks for a macchiato and you know exactly what that is, you can then take the order and serve it without asking a guest if they'd like milk, hot or cold. If you take an Americano order and you then think that you don't have to take the order if a guest would like hot or cold milk, whole, skim, low fat, or soy milk, it all comes back to your product knowledge and gives you confidence when serving guests at the table. Some guests may want sugar, some guests may want sweetener, some guests may want 2 sweeteners, some guests may want 8 blocks of sugar in their coffee. It's completely up to them. Remember, guests can drink their coffee however they want, however they like. There's no rules in coffee. You can drink it with or without sugar. And we don't judge a guest if they ask for 8 spoons of sugar in an espresso. It is their coffee, and they can drink it however, which way that they prefer. If the situation arises when a guest asks for a particular style of coffee, and they meant another style of coffee, they had another style of coffee in mind. For example, a guest may ask you for a macchiato when in their mind they were thinking mocha. They may just have been temporarily confused. It's pointless when you're serving that coffee to get into an argument with a guest and say, well, this is actually a macchiato and this is actually what you ordered, ma'am or sir. Rather, just ask the guest, how would you like your macchiato served? And if the person says with chocolate, you know, because of your product knowledge background, that they were actually referring or thinking about a mocha. Don't make this obvious in front of the guest, and don't correct them in front of the table. It shows that maybe you are trying to be a little bit arrogant. Rather, just accept that the guest was wrong in that situation and give them exactly what they want. Once a guest has communicated the exact style and type of coffee that they prefer, have a look at what additions they add. Do they add milk? Do they add sugar? And if so, how much? Do they add sweetener? Do they drink it without sugar or sweetener? The next time you serve that guest a cup of coffee, you're going to say, Mr. Jones, may I get you a cappuccino with 1 spoon of brown sugar? This shows not only attention to detail, but personalized service. The next step is to learn the person's name, learn a little bit about them, and you start to build a relationship. These relationships are absolutely key, and if you think about it, they are formed by remembering a guest's preference when they order coffee. So simple, so easy.
Tailoring. The key step to tailoring is that we never judge a guest on the way that they enjoy their coffee. There is no right way or wrong way of drinking coffee. In a situation where you think a guest may be doing something incorrectly, remember that it is not your place to try to correct them, but always be there to give them what they are looking for. Another fantastic thing when you notice a guest is doing something in a unique way is to take note of the way that they enjoy their coffee. And when these guests return to your establishment or to their dining area, you can then tailor their order to do it the way that you know they love. This is what we see by observing, looking at what guests are doing and changing the way we serve based on what we have seen. This will help you to build fantastic relationships with your guests, as they will be very moved by the fact that you have taken such an interest in the way that they enjoy their coffee or their beverage. Knowing their preferences and their products that they like will help you to serve them better every single time.